In the quiet village of Umuse, Beauty had a name, Grace. Grace was known across villages for one thing, her scarves. She could turn a simple piece of cloth into art. When she tied a scarf, it stayed neat all day, no matter how much the sun burned or the wind blew. Brides would travel from far away just to have her tie their heads on their wedding day. Her hands were blessed, people said. Some even whispered that her skill wasn't ordinary, that she had a gift from the gods. But gifts like that don't go unnoticed. The other women in the trade, Chinye, MMA Ogo, and Adanma, watched Grace with tight smiles and bitter hearts. Their own customers had stopped coming. Some days, they would sit under the mango tree, fanning themselves angrily and counting how many women walked into Grace's shop. She thinks she's better than us, MMA Ogo hissed. I heard she prays every night, Adanma muttered. Pray. She's using something. Nobody can tie scarf like that without power, Chinye spat. Their jealousy soon grew teeth. One moonless night, the three women crept into the forest to see the native doctor, Dibia Okeke. His hut reeked of blood and smoke. A single red candle flickered before him. We want her hands to stop, Chinye said. We want her beauty to fade, MMA Ogo added. We want her to suffer, Adanma whispered. Okeke gave them a small charm wrapped in red cloth, muttering, bury this in front of her shop. When her foot touches it, her hands will never know peace again. They did exactly that. The next morning, Grace opened her shop as usual. She stepped out to sweep, humming softly, and her foot brushed the red cloth buried in the sand. She felt a sharp sting under her sole but ignored it. By evening, fever gripped her. Within a week, she could barely move her hands. Her children took her to every hospital they could find. When doctors failed, they turned to pastors, prophets, even herbalists. Grace's body grew weaker. Her once beautiful fingers twisted painfully like dry twigs. Then one night, she called her daughter, Blessing, close. My child, she whispered, her voice barely a breath, if there is justice in this world, let truth find those who killed me. Before morning, Grace was gone. Blessing screamed until her voice broke. The whole village wept. The scarf mistress of Umuse was buried in a white wrapper, her favorite one. Her shop was locked, and the key was thrown into the river. After her death, the jealous women celebrated quietly. At last, customers began to return to them. But no matter how hard they tried, their scarves didn't sit right anymore. The edges drooped, the knots came loose, and customers began to complain. Then, 6 months later, a strange rumor began to spread like Harmattan fire. In the neighboring town of Njin, a new woman had opened a scarf shop, and her work was divine. People said she could tie 10 heads in 1 hour, and every single one came out perfect. Her designs were so unique that women traveled from far villages just to patronize her. But she was strange. No one ever saw her come to the shop in the morning or leave at night. She wore the same white cloth every single day, yet it was always spotless, as if freshly washed. And the strangest thing of all, she forbade mirrors. If you wanted to see your reflection, you had to ask another customer, how does it look? But her skill silenced all questions. People said her hands were soft and cold like water. Some swore they smelled roses whenever she tied a scarf. Soon, the jealous women began to panic again. Their customers were gone, this time for good. One evening, Blessing heard about the mysterious woman. Her wedding was just 2 weeks away, and she wanted her scarf tied perfectly, just like her mother used to do. So she decided to travel to Njin. When she arrived, the shop was filled with laughter and chatter. Women sat in rows, admiring their new looks. The air smelled of perfume and starch. Blessing waited quietly, her heart oddly heavy. Then she saw her. The woman tying the scarf stood in the corner, her head bent. When she raised her face, Blessing froze. Her breath caught in her throat. It was her mother. Grace. Same soft face, same hands, same white wrapper, the exact one she was buried in. "Mama," Blessing whispered, trembling. The woman looked up. Her eyes were empty. Not white, not black, just hollow, like darkness had swallowed her pupils. Blessing screamed. The scarf in the woman's hands fell to the ground. Before anyone could move, Grace vanished into thin air, like smoke blown out by wind. Panic broke loose. Women scattered in every direction, leaving their scarves behind. Some fainted. Others swore they saw shadows following them home. By nightfall, the story had spread. "Grace is back," they cried. "She has returned from the grave." Some said she came to take revenge on those who killed her. Others claimed that anyone who let her tie a scarf on their head would lose their destiny. And then, the deaths began. Chinya was the first. Her body was found inside her shop, eyes wide open, a red scarf tied tightly around her neck. The villagers said they heard singing the night before, a woman's soft humming, the same song Grace always sang while walking. 2 weeks later, MMA Ogo was discovered behind her house, the same scarf knot, the same blank stare. Only Adanma remained. She locked herself indoors. She didn't sleep, didn't eat. Every night, she burned candles and prayed, whispering, "Grace, Baiko, forgive me." But Grace did not forgive. One stormy night, thunder rumbled like angry drums. Adanma lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, eyes wide open. The candle by her side flickered. Suddenly, she heard it, soft humming, the same old tune Grace used to sing. Her heart pounded. She gripped her blanket. "It's the wind," she muttered. "It's just the wind." But then the humming grew louder, closer, until it was right beside her ear. The candle went out. Darkness swallowed the room. Something cold brushed her cheek. She turned slowly, and there, sitting at the edge of her bed, was Grace. Her face was pale, her eyes empty, and in her hands, she held a red scarf. Grace didn't speak. She just began to tie. Slowly. Firmly. Around Adanma's neck. Adanma tried to scream, but no sound came out. The scarf tightened, tighter, until her eyes rolled back and everything went still. When the neighbors found her the next morning, she was sitting upright on the bed, a perfect scarf tied beautifully around her head, and her lips frozen in a silent scream. From that night on, nobody tied scarves in Umeus again. Grace's old shop still stands, empty, but sometimes, when the wind blows through the market, people swear they can still hear her voice singing softly.